Good morning, everybody. Welcome back. The installment of Scott Selections here for Friday, January 10th. For again, today's play of the day. Quick recap what happened yesterday. Had a loss in hockey with the Golden Knights to win regulation at even money on FanDuel. Wasn't close. The Golden Knights didn't score as the Islanders did win the game via shutout. Feels like a common trend we've gotten ourselves into in hockey lately, which is the team we're backing outshoots the opposition but doesn't score. And that's what happened yesterday as Vegas outshot the Islanders heavily. Didn't matter, though. Could not put the puck in the back of the net. Picks been bad lately. We'll try to get back on track here on Friday. For the next play, though, want to remind everyone, seeing more plays on the website. So into the website is the promo code WEH4U5 to get 25% off your purchase. Plus, reminder, hit the like button, also subscribe to the YouTube channel. For the extra play, going to the main game on the card, going to go to the college football semifinal matchup between Ohio State and Texas, taking place at around 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time. After this game, we're going to go with Ohio State, -5.5 at -114 on FanDuel. Time recording of 1 a.m. Eastern Time. There's a couple reasons why I'm going to go with Ohio State in this game. First reason, since the start of the playoff, pretty safe to say Ohio State has been the most impressive so far in the entire field. Beat Tennessee and Oregon by a combined score of 83-38. Both those games were over in the first half, and Ohio State has looked really, really good since losing to Michigan in the main rivalry game of the season. Point is, though, you're looking at Texas, and they are here barely. They ended up dominating in the first game against Clemson as they won by double digits, but they probably, I don't know if it's probably, they definitely could have lost to Arizona State in the last game. Won in double overtime with the controversial targeting call, which was missed, which might have potentially set up a game-winning field goal for Arizona State there. But either way, point is Texas did escape with the win, barely winning against a team that was, let's just say, flying under the radar, if that's what you want to call Arizona State. They needed to actually win the conference in order to actually get in to the playoff, but they were favored by double digits, and Texas still barely won in that game. So point is, Texas, I'm not really sure how good this team actually is, because Texas is definitely a top 5 team in the country in terms of ranking. However, the problem is they really haven't beaten many great teams so far this season. To go through the schedule, beat Colorado State, beat Michigan in the middle of a down year, of course, beat UTSA, beat UL Monroe, beat Mississippi State, beat Oklahoma. Then they had Georgia, and Georgia's in the middle of a down year too. But the point is, Texas got buried by 15 in that game. Played Vandy in one, beat Florida, beat Arkansas, beat Kentucky, beat A&M, and then lost to Georgia again in the SEC title game, where Georgia was using a backup quarterback for about a quarter and change. So once again, 2 main step-up games there in the regular season, and they lost both to Georgia, then beat Clemson, who was not really that good this season. They lost to South Carolina, would have missed the actual bracket unless they won the ACC. And the point is, Clemson, I think we'd all agree, was not that great this year, and they won that game by 14. Then Arizona State, who I will admit was a good team in the Big 12. You got to question how good the Big 12 was, but that game was very close, and Texas barely escaped with the win. Ohio State's been more impressive. Ohio State did end up having a couple of, say, tough matchups over the course of the season on the road. Lost to Oregon by 1. Of course, Will Howard slid with no time left. Could have won that game potentially. Beat Penn State on the road by 7. I know Auer's not very good. I know that James Franklin's a choke artist, but still, going into Penn State and winning is still impressive. And then they ended up beating Indiana as well. Indiana maybe not that good, still won that game by 23. Then went into the playoff, beat Tennessee by 25, and beat Oregon, avenging the earlier season loss by 20. I think Ohio State's better, just simply put, and you're looking at the actual stats, they back it up. Ohio State does rank 6th in the league in points per game. Texas does rank 15th, and you're looking at Ohio State ranking 1st in points allowed per game. Texas does rank 3rd, but Texas defense has not been that impressive so far in the playoff. Texas defense allowed 510 yards to Arizona State. I know that game went to double overtime. Point is, though, Arizona State did move the ball very well in the second half, and they allowed 412 yards to Clemson. Ohio State, though, allowed less than 280 to Oregon, who was undefeated this season. They had a great offense with Gabriel quarterback, and Tennessee, who had a little bit of a weird season. They were great offensively early, then bad in the middle, then kind of picked it up again late. But Ohio State's defense has been much better than Texas's defense in the playoff, and you're looking at Ohio State offensively being better than Texas this season as well. I see a pretty tough matchup for Texas. I understand the argument could be that Texas is a bit undervalued. Games in Texas, does it matter? Not really. Ohio State travels well. It's a semifinal game. I don't expect that big of a home field advantage for Texas in this game. But I think you're expecting to see Ohio State look the part here with their $20 million roster. Texas is good. I know that they are, once again, one of the favorites to win the title for a reason. But I think you can make the argument that Ewers and Howard are pretty comparable. Ewers might get more draft buzz. I don't see much of a difference, to be honest. I'm not a big Ewers guy. The coaches are choke artists too, with Day and Sark. So that could be a choke off potentially. Point is, though, you could argue that some of the positions are even, but Ohio State's defense, I think, is better. And offensively, I do like their weapons a bit more, of course, with the best receiver in the entire country, Smith, on the roster. I just think the game's going to go in favor of Ohio State based on talent. I think Ewers will make some bad decisions. We saw him look awful against Georgia's defense twice. And even against Arizona State's defense, he wasn't that great in the second half before waking up in overtime. I think it's a spot where you're looking at Ohio State just having a bit more talent and a bit more consistency. I think they'll get the job done by 7 points in this game. So once again, the play of the day here for Friday, January 10th is going to be on Ohio State minus the 5.5 at minus 114 on FanDuel. Bye, everyone.